Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Psych YouTube channel, where today we're going to be talking about the new manager lift. Now this is often seen in football clubs when a new coach or manager comes in and the performances suddenly change. People start playing better, the team starts clicking a bit more, and the attitude and mindset seems to take a big shift in the right direction. But before we get into that, I just want to note that I'm wearing a shirt today. I've made an effort for you guys. The sun's shining and we're talking about football, so what more could you want? But don't forget, if you do like the video, then give it a like. Subscribe if you're new around here, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. It would be rude not to. And also don't forget to go check out the Instagram at the Football Psych so you can take part, blah, blah, blah. Now that's done, let's talk about football. So yes, a new manager lift. Now, it sounds a bit of a generic term, but it's one that's seen all the time. It happens throughout the season. Obviously, it's more evident midway through a season when there's been a manager at the club and they parted ways. So to be me, I guess I'm going to take Chelsea as a really recent example, the most topical club in that transition where Frank Lampard was dismissed and Thomas Tuchel has come in. Now, played 3 games. First game they drew against Wolves, then they won against Burnley last weekend, and then they won against Tottenham. So 2 wins and a draw and 3 clean sheets in his first 3 games. The first manager to do that than none other than Jose Mourinho in 2003. So, well, it bodes well, doesn't it? We all know what Mourinho did at the club. Let's forget the second half, but remember the first half because it was kind of special. That home record that Chelsea went on, and, you know, a real kind of generational change in terms of the Premier League. So it's early doors yet, but why are Chelsea suddenly playing well? You know, they haven't gained any new players. Most of the backroom staff stayed the same. It's just Frank Lampard and Jody Morris that left. But the new manager lift is often associated with, I think it's broken down into a few reasons. So I think the first one is fringe players are suddenly in favour. So players like Marcos Alonso and Rudiger. Marcos Alonso's last league appearance for Chelsea before Tuchel come in was in September. So there's 4 months between his 2 Premier League starts. And Rudiger's been out of favour for a little while now. Kurt Zouma's been the option, with Lampard opting for 2 centre-backs instead of the back 5 that Tuchel's gone for. So instantly there's a confidence lift for them. You know, they haven't played in months. They've not really been a part of the plans, maybe looking to leave the club. And suddenly they're on the starting team sheet. And that's got to do a world of good for them because they got something to prove. You know, suddenly they can show what they're all about, what Lampard was potentially missing and what they can bring to the team. So I think that's the first big one. I think the second one is probably the new approach in training and maybe the culture of the team and the way things are done on a match day, etc. So I don't know Lampard's philosophy as such, or the way he wanted the club to be, but you could see that he was trying to change the culture there. And I think a lot of the old guard, like I mentioned in the Lampard sacking video, got a bit fed up of that. They liked what they liked and maybe they didn't like this new approach, whereas Tuchel seems a little bit more, I don't want to say old-fashioned, because I think he's very modern in the way he approaches football itself, but maybe behind the scenes it's a little bit more traditional. You know, as the likes of Rudiger and Alonso are the senior players and they're seeming to play. So maybe that's just a lift that training, the new ideas, the new tactics, the new kind of the vision changes completely from Lampard, as it would do with any individual coming in. No 2 managers are the same. But that's what players need sometimes. Lampard was only there 18 months, but maybe some players are getting a bit frustrated with the way things were going and the lack of results, etc. So this new shift and, you know, diversion of attention to different things is maybe what players need, and I think that's the second big reason why Chelsea are playing so well at the moment. So number 3 is similar to, you know, players on the fringe coming into the fold, but you've got a point to prove. You know, take Mason Mount for instance. He's literally Lampard's star boy. How many jokes did you see on Twitter and social media saying about he's only playing because Lampard sees himself in him, or he's Lampard's son? And Southgate's actually got a bit of stick for that as well. And now Tuchel is seeming to really see what Mount is all about, playing him in that inside forward position in recent games, because he didn't start him against Wolves actually and left him out, which was a big shock because Mount's played every minute of every game under Lampard practically, definitely this season. So it just shows you how good the talent of Mason Mount is, how valuable he is to the Chelsea team. So it's a point to prove. I don't think Mount wants to be in Lampard's shadow or was only playing because of Frank Lampard. So even for him, who's a regular starter and was playing anyway, he's got a point to prove. He's got more to show the new manager, and it doesn't just give, like I said, the players on the fringe a lift, but everyone, because suddenly you want to stake your claim and you want to be the first name on that team sheet, because the new manager is looking at the team through a different lens. He's not Frank Lampard, so he's not looking at you like, you know, you were playing 6 weeks ago. He's looking at you now and what he's seen limited in training. So it's really important that the attitude is good from the players, and this often fizzles out. This new manager lift I keep mentioning, it seems to come into effect and then dissipate after about 3 or 4 games, often because the new ideas are no longer new ideas, they're just the norm and they've been accepted and everyone's kind of on board, but it just kind of becomes what it was before the manager came in. But actually, what can you do as a player to make sure that this good form and this new buzz and morale lasts? Well, buy into it. Buy into the plan. The manager's there for a reason. He's been brought in by people above at the club. He's got a good track record. I don't think winning the league with PSG is necessarily an achievement. I think it's almost a given. And he's not really performed in the Champions League as well as he should have done. But yeah, buy into it as a player. You know, make sure that every training session feels like your last, and that he's just come into the club. You know, act like Tuchel's watching you for the very first time every game, because this Chelsea team is so talented. But I think what's let them down is mindset and attitude. And it's been quite toxic in terms of the old guard, like I've mentioned, and the older players who maybe don't like a new approach. But at the moment, it is very premature. 3 games in, like I said, people are buying into it with Tuchel. And I think it's just key that the Chelsea squad carry on buying into it. You know, really give it a go. And it's a new system as well, which always helps. It's a new tactical kind of understanding of football. It's a new approach, and not just the same formation and the team's going to be picked, you know, in an obvious fashion, but actually Hudson-Odoi at right wing back, Chilwell not being in favour at the moment. He probably needed a kick, Chilwell. We've got Emerson and Marcos Alonso as left back options in the club, who are actually both wing backs, to be honest. And with this new formation with Tuchel, we play with wing backs, so Chilwell isn't the obvious option anymore. And I think Ben Chilwell's a good player, but if you go back and watch the Blue Van Man podcast, Blue Van Man will tell you that he wasn't upset when Chilwell was let go, especially for £50 million. Now, that's not a lot of money for a player in today's market, but listen, I'm not doubting Chilwell for 1 minute, but I just think sometimes it can be good for players who were first choice under a previous manager to be tested and to actually check themselves and be like, right, actually, something's different being asked of me now. I needed to perform a new function in this new team. So maybe I've got to go away and focus on different areas of my game. And I think that's definitely something Chilwell can improve on. Marcos Alonso is such a forward threat. You know, I'm really not a fan, I'm not going to lie. He's very unorthodox, but he gets a goal. And he's an awkward problem for defences. And Chilwell, I think he's a little bit more safe. When he gets on the ball, he likes to go square, he likes to go back. So it's a chance, it's an opportunity, and it's also a bit of time for reflection. Players like Chilwell, who are always on that team sheet, week in, week out, now you're not, and Zouma, what are you going to do? You know, are you going to up your game, or are you going to let it beat you? And I think that is the key. But that's going to be full time for this video. Just a quick one. Something definitely to think about. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the new manager lift is a myth? Do you think it exists? Do you not think it does? Is it just talked about and overhyped because Chelsea have got 2 wins and a draw? What really does that mean? But I think it's definitely a factor of it. It'd be good to hear what you've got to say in the comments. Don't forget, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did learn something as well. It's not a very technical term, new manager lift, but it's definitely evident in today's game. So yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.
Been crying so much to the poltergeist, trying to hold on to love, but it's forced.